Can you sum it up, Mayor? So, in fact, what Dustin was asking is that, okay, so the reasons behind this, because it was sudden, so nobody knew about it. So whether you saw it coming or not, and actually we want to know exactly what caused this anyway. Because, okay, you see that 2 more is to come. So I don't think it could be a redeployment, as the ANC and yourself say. So it's impossible to do like that. I guess maybe the mayor was informed, actually, what were the reasons for your deployment.
All right, thank you for those questions. Can I check if there's still another hand that you can take as part of this round of questions? Going once?
Sure. Just want to know how were the news communicated to you and how did you receive it? And perhaps on the issue of water security under the municipality, the issue of sewer challenges. You say that you have done better there because these are some of the challenges that were experienced much more during your tenure as mayor. Yes.
Thank you. I will now invite the Honourable Mayor to respond to the questions.
Thank you very much, colleagues, for raising these important questions which require my response. Firstly, when I joined the movement, the ANC, I joined the ANC voluntarily. And when I joined the ANC, I joined the ANC without expecting that the ANC in a particular day will make me the MEC of Transport and Community Safety and Liaison, or it will make me the mayor. You join as a member because you love your organization. That is why I'm still intact. I still remain a strong member of the African National Congress. Of course, there were rumors last weekend that Daisy even asked me about that I was about to make a particular announcement to change my political home. No, those were the forceful rumors. I still remain in the African National Congress. So the question that says, have I been consulted? Firstly, how deployments are conducted in the ANC. As a member, you are called by the provincial secretary and the officials, then you are informed. You are not asked. You are informed that we wish to deploy you to a particular deployment. Then you just take the deployment as is. You don't even ask the reasons why. Therefore, you can't ask the reason why the ANC is redeploying you, because even at an initial stage, when the ANC decided to deploy you, you couldn't ask, what are the reasons? It's because the revolution in its own, it builds a leader, it constitutes a leader, and that leader, when the ANC sees that leader is now ready to be deployed, or he or she has reached a stage where that particular individual can be given a serious responsibility, whether in government or in many other areas of strategic deployment. So that's how this deployment gets conducted. So I was consulted. I was not surprised by TV. I was consulted, and I accepted the redeployment. How did I take it? I take it with warm hands, as I took the deployment of being the MEC for transport. Even when I was requested to come to the city, I took it with warm hands. Now, as I'm going to the NCOP, I take it with warm hands again. Even in the NCOP, when the ANC decides that it wants to redeploy me somewhere, ascertain that it implement its own policies And those policies, for it to implement those policies, it requires a certain caliber of people that will be deployed to execute those ANC policies in the areas where the centers of power, where the ANC needs to be represented. So to me, I took it with warm hands, and I wish to thank the ANC because not everyone in the ANC is deployed. How lucky I am that I'm still deployed. There are cadres whom we've been in the struggle with for many years. They've never been deployed anywhere. So it is an opportunity that we welcome with warm hands. And that is why I say I love my organization, because it looks at things, you know, at a very strategic way, and how to ensure that you use your own cadership in different areas of strategic areas of power where they will make impact. So I believe that the ANC have identified that I'll be making another good impact, as I've made in Ethekwini, as I've made it in Department of Transport. So the next question was, I've answered about the reasons. You don't get given reasons, but you are given the opportunity to serve. Then how do I respond to people who say I failed? I'm not going to respond to that. It's my work during the time where I've served which will talk to those people. If anyone will challenge me and say, when you came here, how was this CPT look like in terms of cleanliness? I can respond. I say we have improved. If anyone asks me about how do you respond to the failing infrastructure that has been showing through being the aging infrastructure, showing some challenges in the city, I can also respond that as a person who was responsible to drive the process of constituting the budget of the city, as a chair of the finance committee and the mayor responsible for the city, with the collective that I've worked with, we were able to identify the areas where we need to redirect resources so that we can make impact to the people's lives. This is one of the areas where we have decided to put more money, investments, water and sanitation. We have also allocated more resources on electricity, looking at the experiences that we have of the aging infrastructure that we need to ensure that we resuscitate our systems and we expand our system to respond to the demand. So we have made impact in that. So if you ask me about the cleanliness of the entire city, we can boast with the kilometers that we are servicing in terms of cleaning our city compared to other municipalities. We even clean some part of the rural areas. So taking a taxi from here, moving from the CPD, and you go straight to Mzinyati, or you move from the CPD, you go straight to the south, Umbumbulu, the level of cleanliness, then you can take a taxi to other cities and do the same, you'll see the difference. So we pride ourselves that we have indeed invested the money where there will be value for money. So we pride ourselves with that as a collective. If the question may arise, how have you assisted young people in terms of job opportunities? We can respond to that. We have recruited young people through internships, learnership programs. They are all over the city in different departments of this city. They are given the opportunity to gain experience. We can pride ourselves that we have decided that we scrap the requirement of experience in all entry-level jobs of the municipality. We can pride ourselves that we'll be assisting 500 of young people with the driver's license and learner's licenses for free, those who come from the needy families. We can pride ourselves on the foundation we have leveled in terms of attracting investment in this city. I'm sure we are one of the cities that are not struggling with the investments. Instead, there are investors who decide to leave other cities and come this side on the basis that the infrastructure in Ethekwini at least it provides adequacy in terms of their needs. So looking at the current investments that are already operational in the city, the expansion of Toyota, the expansion of SAPI, the expansion of SAB, the expansion of many other industries that are located in the city, it indicates that they are happy to be in this city. That is why they are still considering to do further investments. So it talks on its own. When you talk about how do we support the tourism as a city, today we are hosting one of the biggest events, the Tourism Business Awards. We are hosting them tonight. These business awards are aimed at enhancing our own strategy of developing both rural and township economies. It's respond to the economic recovery plan that we have put in place. We are funding those organizations so that they can make impact in their localities and create jobs. So if we talk about how do we respond to the issue of supporting sport as part of the vehicle that is critical to promote tourism, we are funding Amazulu, we are funding Golden Arrows, we are funding the Sharks, because we want to make impact in the sporting industry so that it can contribute positively to the tourism of the city. If you look at how we have invested in our metropolis, we recently bought them 62 to 70 vehicles, new vehicles. And we have decided that those vehicles must be bought from the local producer, which is Toyota. So it shows that we are concerned about the investment so that we can also enhance the investments in the city. We must also buy from those who are already producing. The decision, the latest decision we have taken is to produce the midi buses. We said to spending more money buying those buses from Johannesburg. Now they'll be produced here in the city. A new industry will be established with more than 260 million investments. As we are seated here next to the port, there are major developments. I went there to unveil with Transnet some of the bigger projects in our port. It shows that investments are really popping into our municipality. So we are leading in such a way that we want to walk with the people this journey, that we are traveling, we must be with the communities when we're doing that. But we must accept and acknowledge that we have not responded adequately on the job creation. We still need to do more. We still need to have more industries. Hence, we said there are things that we buy from other countries on water and electricity. We said, let's go out and lobby those people who are running those businesses to come and invest in this city so that all these things that we are spending billions of rands can be bought from within. And we can create jobs, we can create economic opportunities for the people of Ethekwini. So we pride ourselves with that record. We are one of the municipalities that we said we do not owe ESCOM. What does that mean? It means good governance, good administration. Because that means you are able to meet your monthly obligations. You know exactly how much is your budget, you know how much do you need to spend, you know how much do you spend to deal with the issues of resuscitating your infrastructure. So it's a sign of good governance. Since we got into the audit platforms as a city by the Auditor General, we have never regressed. We have never received anything below unqualified audit opinion. What does that mean? It's good governance. So I'm leaving that record behind. So I'm not just leaving a municipality which is about to collapse. I'm not leaving the municipality which is going to fail to pay for its employees. I'm not leaving the municipality that is not going to be able to meet its monthly obligations. I'm leaving the municipality that is going to continue to sustain its performance when it comes to financial sustainability. So that's what makes me happy. And that's why you can even see me that I'm happy that the work, when I look behind, when I'll be there in Cape Town conducting oversight, when I'm looking at Ethekwini, I'll say, yeah, with the collective leadership that we led with, we have delivered in that city. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Worship. There are two more hands from the members of the media. I will open another round of questions. Oh, there are three. Then I come back again. All right. So that will be hand number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Thank you. Can you do them in that order, please?
Thank you. First, I'm Johnny from Manila Community Newspaper. And Mr. Mayor, corruption is a situation that can undo a lot of the good that we are doing. What can you tell us about the state, the fight against corruption, from the time you came and now at the time that you live? Are you winning? Are you losing? Of course, I know there's a new head in that unit, but I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Covered by my colleague, but maybe my question is related to the speaker and the processes now going forward. It's what happened, so the waiting I'm a bit of a guest because
All right. You're the last time you come from.
My name is Mohan Rando from Ithaka. In fact, I'm covered by your salary, but I just want to add something. Mayor, you're not new to the city hall. You served as the councillor before. How would you rate yourself during this tenure as a mayor? You are now a councillor with a political head. You're living as a political head now. How would you rate yourself? And how would you respond to someone who would say, Umbi, it's the worst man in the city of Ethekwini as a mayor?
Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you for these interesting questions. Firstly, there was no need for me to serve in the region before I become the mayor. The ANC, when it deploys cadres to serve in government, sometimes it doesn't become a requirement that you should be an RSC so that you become that you'll automatically become the mayor. It doesn't work that way. But I was fortunate on my part. The NEC of the Youth League when I was the chairperson and the secretary of the province. So I've served. That was never my experience. Then the second issue is about the corruption. Since we arrived, we decided that when we arrived in the first term, when we arrived in 2019, before the election of local government in 2021, we decided as a troika of that time that we'll use our day 2 in office to communicate with the members or the residents of Ethekwini, to outline our vision, where we want to go and all of that. But part of the things that we have said was that we are committed. It is that body that looks at the matters. There are matters that get referred to MPEG. There are matters that get referred to CIIU for further investigations. And we are happy to say that we are acting, we have acted to some of those reports that the city manager was required to act to expedite the process of disciplinary processes. Yes. There are suspensions. There are people who decided to resign before we even dismissed them because they saw the seriousness of the matters that they were faced with. And you can even also look at how we behaved during the illegal industrial action as a city leadership and our administration. We said we are setting the tone in the city. We are governed by laws. So all of us, we need to adhere to what governs us. So it's important that we take note of that. So we are dealing, but corruption as a scourge, it's not something that you can deal with in 5 years and 10 years. So you need to have a strategy, which we have put in place, by the way, to try and cap it, because you need to prevent it before it happens. You need to have systems that will also detect it before it happens. So those systems, the city manager have put them in motion, and some of them have started to give us indication. Hence, city manager is now able to act early and say, no, let's stop this project, let's further investigate this project, let's do not implement this project up until internal auditors certifies everything that this project is going as expected. So, you know, all those systems have now been put in place, but we are happy with the record that we are leaving behind, that we are not smiling with corruption, but we are ready to root it out, and we've started the processes of rooting it out. But it is a process beside the issue of arresting people, because it's at a tail end. If you arrest somebody, it's at a tail end. What you need to do is to prevent, because cure costs more than prevention. So you need to prevent it before it happens. But you need also to educate your employees. You keep on educating, ongoing awareness programs, how dangerous this thing is. Can't you see that you are going to lose your whole pension? Can't you see that you are going to lose your future? Your children are going to remain with somebody who's arrested without any pension, without any income. So, you know, that kind of education, awareness, and what becomes action of each and every individual after having taken through that sessions. So the other element of dealing with corruption is to appeal to the business sector, because this thing is in twofold. There's a person who corrupts the other. The person who corrupts the other one is the one that takes you to a hotel, Radisson Blue, elidumile. Ayohlala nawe lapho, akukhukeke ukuthi lalela-ke le contract masi ayenzelwe mina, you must design this contract so that it suits me. So somebody have initiated corruption. That's a business person. So we also need to protect our own employees from such individuals. So they must stop doing it, because they become the first ones to say there's corruption whilst they are influential in causing the scourge that we are faced with. So it's a two-way process. We need to work together with business to fight corruption, eliminate corruption, try and prevent it, but we also have a responsibility as an individual, whether you decide consciously to venture into this thing or you do not do that. You know, because there are many things that we've been saying to our team members. We said, you know, these people, they stare at you with small things. They will ask you a question. Where are your children schooling? Then you'll mention a name of a school somewhere there. They say, no, but in the position where you are, your kids are not supposed to be attending a school with a last name called school. Supposed to be a college. So for you to take your kids to the college, you must pay a lot there. You are paying there. Even the mayor, my kids are not in colleges, they are in schools. Because I prevent to pay what I do not have. So it's important as an individual that you work on yourself. That temptations should be managed properly so that you are not becoming a victim tomorrow of your own self, your own behavior. So that's how we must deal with corruption, but we must intensify law enforcement agencies, investigations, everything, arrest, and people, we must recoup resources. When they've conducted corruption, we must go and take your assets and recoup our money that you have stolen. So those are good, but the most important intervention, prevention. So I think that's where we want to be. The mayor, the reason why they are deputy mayors, there's a piece, it's unlike ministers, Somlomo. Ministers, if the minister is not present, you don't make a deputy minister to act, you make another minister to act. So there is no vacuum in Ethekwini. There is a deputy mayor, and the council that is presided over by the speaker will have a meeting where the mayor will be elected. Sure, that process will move smoothly. As you can see that the political hemisphere and the conditions are very looking conducive nowadays. It's unlike when we've been receiving vote of no confidence now and then. So I'm sure political parties will get matured to handle things better, because we need to have a stable government. Investors are not looking for a municipality that does not have political stability. Investors are not looking for a municipality that does not provide adequate infrastructure. And when people say there's a challenge of water in Ethekwini city manager, there's this assumption that the whole city does not have water. So, and the way it's being portrayed sometimes in media and social media is as if the whole city does not have water. No, we know the areas. And we've got pockets of interventions in the same areas. We know how much we've allocated per each area, what intervention are we making so that we can make impact and restore services as expected in those areas. So we are very clear about that. So I'm leaving a municipality with a capable city manager, with capable leadership. Deputy mayor, the speaker, the whip, they are going to ensure that we continue from where we left off. So this is a baton. You run your race, then you also transfer a baton to another person. That's how politics is. That is why you should not be surprised when you're a politician that within 3 days of your deployment, you may be recalled. It happened in South Africa with Minister of Finance. He was still looking for a better seat in the office, but he had to leave. So it happens because deployments are deployments. Even our kids should be taught that, listen, I'm not employed, I'm not full-time employee, I'm a deployee. So if it happens, you see your father on television that is being, you know, my children are very happy, they saw it. I couldn't even have time to brief them about my deployment. They saw it in media, they called me, they said, hey, no, it's fine, hey, we congratulate you, then it passes. They don't get concerned. Why have you been changed? Because you have told them. There is no entitlement in the deployment. In the deployment, you accept the deployment, you accept the redeployment. So that's how it works. Thank you very much. I hope I've satisfied your, your questions.
Thank you so much, Mayor, members of the media. We have come to an end of our program. Thank you so much for coming out with your numbers.
Sorry, before you close, I think when you say something, people may even take. I used to make this example with Beverly Hills and many other hotels. So when I say that is, we are not saying that's where people are meeting to so please do not take that. I didn't say that. It is the hotel that came to my mind, which is busy. Many years have been busy. So it's busy. So any hotel that